So Mortal Kombat 1 for the Nintendo Switch got another patch yesterday. I was asleep when it came out and then didn't get a chance to check it out until today. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about that. But before we get to that, the like button is feeling kinda lonely, so do me a solid and hit that real quick. I've also got a Discord, and you can find a link to that in the description. And getting to yesterday's update, we're now on patch 1.29, and the digital game size tops out at 42.9 gigabytes. Obviously, this patch does not come with any major changes to the graphics, and so we're probably gonna have to wait for the Switch 2 before we get anything like that. But today's update was mostly just a Switch version of an update that came out a few days ago on the other consoles, where it's basically a balance patch with some bug fixes and the added ability to purchase character mastery at $5 a pop. You know what? NetherRealm sure is creative in the ways that they think of to monetize this game. The T-1000 got a few nerfs in this patch, as well as Baraka and some other characters too, but what I was hoping that this patch would be is a fix for a few issues that were introduced in the last major update where we got the T-1000 DLC. The T-1000 slows the game down big time on the Nintendo Switch, especially when you're using his hook swords move, which should be on screen right now. Unfortunately, we did not get a fix to that, and the footage you're watching now was captured on the latest patch. Comboing the T-1000 with Liu Kang still makes the frame rate nosedive, and the T-1000's hook sword still face the same issue. So let's take a quick look at how the game performs now. The rest of the video is going to be a frame rate test. It was recorded on patch 1.28 yesterday, but it doesn't look like patch 1.29 changed anything with regards to that, so this should still be pretty up to date as of now. In the character select screen, we have a fairly stable 30 frames per second with slight dips when a character is loaded. In gameplay, matches tend to hover around 60 frames per second, give or take a few. When a cameo is called, we see a dip into the early to mid 50s, but quickly goes back to staying around 60 frames per second. Unfortunately, it is still the case that when two cameos are on screen at the same time, the game automatically cuts to 30 frames per second, making the entire game a little bit laggy for a second or two, like you can see here. Here we can see exactly how bad the T-1000 slows the game down. So even without any cameos on screen, when I combo the T-1000 with Liu Kang, the game cuts to 40 frames per second in the middle of the combo. This still happens in yesterday's patch, which is the most recent patch. When you combo into the hook swords move, the game cuts down to 40 frames per second, and mind you, this was recorded offline. So in the online, you can see just some of the matches I had online playing the T-1000, and it is really bad. So in conclusion, I really hope that we see an update fixing this issue with the T-1000. You know, I really thought that this patch was gonna be that, but we might have to wait a little bit longer. Hopefully this is not one of those things where we're gonna have to wait for the Switch 2 edition update for Mortal Kombat 1, if that's even gonna be a thing. But I should remind you that WB is doing a Switch 2 edition update for Hogwarts Legacy, a game that's already on the Switch 1, so it is possible that we're gonna see the same thing for MK1. But before we get ahead of ourselves, smoothing this thing out with the T-1000 should be a top priority for the Switch 1, even if they have to completely change the appearance of the liquid metal to bump the frame rate up. You know, I really don't care what it looks like as long as it performs well. But that's gonna be it for this video. I am gonna keep bringing you more combo videos, online matches, and video game news. I'm Switchplayed, done.